Hello friends, welcome to my class. So today's topic of discussion is regarding C language preliminaries. The topics covered in this class will be introduction, a brief history of C language, the main characteristics and applications of C language. Then we are going to study the basic structure of a C program. Here we will be covering the character set, C tokens and keywords and identifiers. Also we will discuss a sample C program in this session. Now let's get started. Coming to the introduction and history part of C programming language, initially when our computers were developed, its main applications were from the early scientific calculations. Okay, initially we wanted to perform scientific calculations. For this reason computer was developed. Later, even for business applications, we made use of computers. So the range of usage was from scientific calculations to business applications. So there were different programming languages developed to achieve this task. For example, we made use of Fortran language for scientific calculations. We made use of COBOL programming language for business data processing. We made use of Pascal for general applications, then Prolog and Lisp. So these are certain programming languages which were developed for different kinds of applications. But there was a need to develop a particular programming language which can handle system programs. Now why do we require these system programs? So that our computer runs smoothly. We can develop different kinds of operating systems, compilers, interpreters. So these are so many system programs which we need to develop, and there was a need for a programming language. That is the reason why C language was developed. So basically C language was developed to form the system programs. So this is how the C language emerged. Now if we go for the history of C programming language, initially a language called as BCPL was developed, that is Basic Combined Programming Language. This was developed, as well as B language was developed. BCPL by Martin Richards and B language was developed by Ken Thompson. Our C language is derivation of these two programming languages, and the father of C language is Dennis Ritchie. He developed this programming language in the year 1972. Later, in the year 1978, this C language, also known as K&R C. Why K&R C? Because this C language was documented by Brian Kernighan and Dennis Ritchie. So these two people documented the C programming language, and this was popularly called as K&R C, and this was introduced for general purpose use in the year 1978. In 1972 it was only restricted to the Bell Laboratories, but later it was made applicable for the public use in the year 1978. Later, due to some standardization purpose, currently our C language is known as ANSI C. What is ANSI C? It follows the American National Standard Institute. So according to these standard rules, C language can be used in the entire world following these standards. So this is the basic introduction and history about the C programming language. Now let us know what are the important characteristics of C language. First very important characteristic of C language is that it is a structured programming language. Now what is the meaning of structured? Structured means it is very well formed. Okay, very well formed means it is easy to read. we can read the C program, and also it is easy to maintain the C program. The meaning of structured means our entire program is formed in particular modules. Okay, when we have particular modules means the big task is divided into smaller task, and each smaller task is solved step by step in a top-down approach. That is the meaning of structured programming language. Next important characteristic is it has rich set of operators. Rich set of operators and data types. Now what are operators? Operators means we have plus, minus, division, multiplication. So these are various operators which are available. There are many operators, just to name a few I have mentioned here. So it contains rich set of operators. And what is the meaning of data types? Data types means we can use different types of data. For example, we can use integer values. Integer values means we have numbers. We can use numbers. We can use different kinds of characters. Characters means we use alphabets. Okay, so these are the different kinds of data. Next characteristic is it allows the manipulation of internal processor registers. Manipulation of internal processor register. Now what is the meaning of registers? Registers are nothing but used to store data. Suppose this is your CPU, okay, and in the memory you are having various sections. The small units of the memory are called as what? Registers. So suppose I want to perform addition, a plus b is equal to c. Now the computer has to store the individual values in the memory. So that is where we make use of registers. So one value is stored in one register, next value is stored in another register. Okay, so these values are stored in the register and we can make manipulation, that means changes to the values of these stored in registers. Next important characteristic is there is no rigid format. No rigid format, meaning we can write the program in just one line or in different lines. Okay, following a certain syntax we can write the program. There is no rigid format. This is easy and flexible. Fifth important characteristic is portability. According to me, this is also a very important feature of C programming language. Portability means if you are having so many machines, computer machines having different operating system, like this has Windows operating system, this has Linux, this has Mac. Okay, if you write the C programming language, you can run this on any systems with little or no modification. That is the most important quality of portability, which is provided in the high level programming language, and one such language is our C programming language. Last important characteristics to discuss is the ability to extend itself. Extensibility. The ability to extend itself by adding functions to its library. I will explain this extensibility with a real-time example. Now, you people must have used WhatsApp. Okay, in WhatsApp earlier there was only one feature, that is messaging. So basically it was just a messenger app. But now if you see, you are having so many features in WhatsApp added. For example, you are having the video call function, you have a normal call function, also you have addition of status. Okay, so these are so many features added to the WhatsApp. Initially there was only messaging. So what they have done is they have written entire code for this WhatsApp application, and then when its popularity was growing, they started adding new features. Now, do you think again this WhatsApp application was developed from scratch? No, only the whatever available code was there for this application, the new features were just added, embedded into this code. So that is the meaning of extensibility. You can add more features to the code. Clear? Now, so these are the important characteristics of C programming language. There are many, but just important ones I have mentioned here. Let's have a quick review. First of all, C programming language is a structured programming language. It consists of rich set of operators and data types. Manipulation of internal processor registers is easy. There is no rigid format, portability and extensibility. Now coming to the applications of C programming language, we have its application in system softwares, as well as we can apply the C programming language to application softwares. Now what are the difference between this? System software means you have your operating systems, you have interpreter, you have your compilers. So to develop these kind of programs, we make use of C programming language. So this comes under system software, the ones required for the system. Application means which we are using. For example, we have database system, we have MS-DOS, MS Word, okay, MS Word, we have word processor, we have spreadsheets, we have CAD or CAM applications. So these are the different types of application softwares where we make use of C programming language. Let's begin with the character set for C programming language. If you want to learn any new language, the most basic foundation is you need to know the alphabets. What is the meaning of alphabets? Now suppose when you are a kid, you started off with learning the alphabets A, B, C, D. Later, after learning the alphabets, you started to form words and then sentences. Similarly, to write a C programming languages, you should be very good with the character set. Now, this character set consists of 3 categories. First category is it consists of alphabets. When it consists of alphabets, what alphabets do we have in English language? A to Z. Same way we have here A to Z. These are in uppercase. Uppercase means capital letters. Also we have small letters A to Z. These are called as lowercase. So we have uppercase and lowercase, capital A to Z and small letters A to Z available for our programming language. The second category is digits. In digits, we have 0 to 9. You can use any number from 0 to 9. Third category is special characters. Now, what are these special characters? Special characters are nothing but they are also called as special symbols. You can call it as a character or symbols. So, which all characters do we have? We have comma, dot, colon, semicolon, apostrophe, double quotation, question mark, exclamatory, underscore, hash symbol, equal to, pipeline, plus, minus, asterisk, division, modulus or percentage, ampersand, caret, tilde, less than, greater than, backslash, opening round bracket, closing round bracket, opening square bracket, closing square bracket, opening flower bracket, closing flower bracket. So these are the special characters which are allowed. If you can see on your keyboard, you will find all these symbols. I expect you people to please go through the keyboard once and find all this symbol available. Now after knowing the character set, let us move on with learning about the C tokens. So this is a very important topic and almost it is asked in theory papers that explain different types of C tokens. Now basically C token is defined as the basic and smallest unit of a C program. So whenever you are having entire C program, all the small part they belong to this C tokens. Now in the C tokens we are having 6 types. What are they? Number 1, we have keywords. Second, we have identifiers. Third, we have constants. Fourth, we have strings. Fifth, we have operators. And the last one, we have special symbols. Special symbols you have already seen in the character set. They are special characters. They come under the special symbols. Operators we will be discussing in detail in upcoming classes. Strings and constants as well we will discuss later. Here we will be covering these two C tokens, that is keywords and identifiers. The main thing is whenever you are writing a C program, every word comes under either keyword or identifier. So any word you use in C program, that will be classified either as a keyword or as an identifier. Now let us see in detail what are these keywords and identifiers. So there are two important things you need to remember regarding keywords. First is they are called as reserved words. What is the meaning of reserved words? They have fixed meanings. That is first important point. Second important point regarding keywords is that it is always in lower case. They are written in lowercase letters. So you have to remember these 2 points regarding keywords. First of all, they are also called as reserved word. That means they have fixed meaning and they are in lowercase. Now in C programming language, we are having total 32 keywords. What are they? Let me just write down for you. Auto, break, case, char, const, continue, default, do, double, else, enum, this stands for enumeration, for external register extern, float, for, go to, if, int for integer, long, register, return, short, signed, size of, static, struct, switch, type def, this is for type definition, union, unsigned, void, volatile, while. So in alphabetical order I have written these keywords so that it is easier for you to remember. So in total there are 32 keywords. As and how we will be writing programs, there are certain keywords which will be very commonly used. So you will be very thorough with all the keywords. There is nothing to worry. Okay. So these are the 32 keywords. Main thing you have to remember, as you can see, all the letters are in small case. Small letters, that is also called as lowercase, and also these are reserved. You cannot use any of these words as identifier. Now what is identifier? Let's discuss. Identifiers. See, the word itself says identifier means you have to identify something. Now what you are going to identify? Program elements. So I can say identifiers are nothing but the names given to program elements. What is the meaning of program elements? We will be making use of various kinds of data, variables, symbols in our program. So they are called as program elements. So whatever name we give to these program elements are called as identifiers. Now these identifier names can be either alphabets or digits. So they can be alphabets or digits. Any combination of alphabets and digits will form identifiers. Now there are certain rules for identifiers. Let us discuss those rules. Rule number 1. The first characteristic must be alphabet. So whatever first character we are using in the name, that should be alphabet. Digit is not allowed. The name can consist of alphabets and digits, but the first letter should always be alphabet. Or we can use underscore. Now you can tell me, ma'am, underscore comes under special symbol, but this is not allowed. You said only alphabet and digits. So this is only one exception you have. Only underscore can be used, but other special symbols are not allowed. And the first character must be alphabet. So our rule number 2 is, after first character, whatever are the succeeding characters, should be either alphabets or digits. Okay, that is our second rule. Next, the third rule is, uppercase and lowercase identifiers are different. If we use uppercase and lowercase, both are different. For example, if I write Priya in capital and Priya in small, these two are different. Okay, the computer will take both the names as different. If I am storing name of a particular person in my computer, so if I am giving Priya as capital and Priya as small, both will be saved as different. Okay. Next, fourth important rule is, no special characters are allowed. As I have already told you, no special characters or symbols allowed. Except which one? Underscore. Very good. Rule number 5. No two successive underscores allowed. That means, suppose I am using an underscore, I cannot use two underscore at a time. The last important rule is, keywords should not be used. As I have already discussed, keywords are nothing but reserved words. Their meanings are fixed. So you cannot use keywords. So these are the important rules for identifier. Let us take some examples for this. Now, can you just tell me within these 4 options, which are the keywords and identifiers? First, default, auto, Priya, Priya 1, 2, 3. Now among these, which are the identifiers and keywords? Yes, we have default is an keyword, auto is also a keyword, Priya comes under identifier, Priya 1, 2, 3 also comes as an identifier. Now, based on these rules, we will check certain examples for identifiers. Okay, so here are some set of examples which I have given for identifiers. Can you just try to identify which they are? Let us check. First one, Priya 1, 2, 3. Is this an identifier? Yes, because all the rules are applicable. The first character is an alphabet, followed by we are having alphabets and digits. So this is an identifier. Next example. Initially we are having an underscore and then we are having alphabets and digits. So this is also a identifier. Third example. We are having 2 successive underscores and then we are having Priya 1, 2, 3. So this is not allowed because it is violating our rules. So this is not an identifier. Next example, 1, 2, 3 Priya. Is this an identifier? No, because it is starting with digit. As we have the rule, first character must be alphabet or underscore. They have not mentioned digit. So this will not be identifier. Next example, we have Priya star 1, 2, 3. Here it is starting with the alphabet okay, following the rule, but there is an asterisk symbol in between. As we have seen, no special symbols are allowed except which one? Underscore. If there was underscore, then it was acceptable, but since this is different special symbol, this doesn't come under identifier. Last example, Priya 123 again, but this time it is capital letter. This is also allowed because here uppercase and lowercase both identifiers are allowed, but they are different. Priya 123 with the small letter will be stored in different value, capital P will be stored in different value. So these are certain examples for identifiers. Even for many competitive exams, you will be given with questions which will be having identify the correct identifiers among the following options. Now let us discuss the basic structure of a C program. Now in C program, we will be having 4 important components. First comes main function, a pair of curly braces, declarations and statements, user defined functions. Let us see how the syntax is followed for these components. Here, as you can see in this main box, this is a small syntax of a C programs. Here, first thing you will be having is preprocessor statements. Preprocessor statements means what? You will be requiring certain files, library files to be included in your program. What library files? Now whenever you go to a library, what do you find in library? There are so many books, right? Okay. Suppose you want to make a particular article on a topic, you go to library, you take some books from here, some books from here, some books from here. Okay. So in this library you will find entire things which will be required for your article. Similarly, in computer also you are having a library which consists of different kinds of files, and my C program can make use of those files. These kind of files are called as header files. They are called as header files. So from these header files we will be including some files. Okay, suppose I want to make use of that entire header file library, I will be simply making use of hash symbol, right, include, 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 open a greater than bracket, right, stdio.h and close. Okay, this is the most common used preprocessor statement. Okay, in preprocessor statements there are many kind, we will be exploring later, but one example I am giving you right now. We will use hash include, open and close the greater than less than brackets. In this we are writing stdio.o. Okay, stdio.h. Now what is std stands for? Std stands for standard, IO stands for input and output operations. Okay, for input and output operations. H stands for header files. Okay, they are called as header files as I have told you. Okay, so I have to include this library in my program. For that purpose we will write this statement. Whenever you are writing C program, this is very common statement which you will be coming across. Hash include stdio.h. Please you should write and practice this. I recommend you write and practice. Next is we are having global declarations. What are these global declarations? Declaration means you will be telling that the C program that there are certain values which you can use throughout the entire program. So that is the meaning of global declarations. Then we have a main written here, main round brackets. What is the meaning of this? This is the main function from where your program execution will start. So basically why we use this main function is used because the computer will understand that my C program's execution will begin from this. So it will start executing line by line. Compiler will take line by line all the piece of code and start executing. Okay, so that is why we are making use of main function. Now after writing main, we have to write the curly braces. What is present in this curly braces? This is also called as the body. In this body, what do we have? We have certain set of declarations and we have certain set of statements. Declarations means again what all program elements we are using. Okay, whatever program elements we use, they are the declarations. And what are the statements? Statements are the instructions. Statements are nothing but the set of instructions we are giving the computer, what my computer needs to do. Then at the end, after finishing this main, we are making use of the user defined functions. User defined means we are defining certain set of functions. This main is present compulsorily because execution will start. Apart from this main function, we will be using certain user defined functions. That means we are defining those functions or some tasks we are giving to solve to the C program. Now let us see a sample C program. Suppose I want my screen to display welcome to C. I want my computer to display welcome to C. So how can we do that? Let's start writing the C program. First we have to make use of a preprocessor statement. So let me write hash include stdio.h. So this is the first statement you need to write. Next, are there any global declarations for this program? I do not require, so I am going to skip this line. Next, I am having main function. So let us write main round brackets. Next comes my flower bracket, opening flower bracket. Now I want to print welcome to C. So I have a word called as printf. When I write printf, then within round brackets, within double quotations, I will say welcome to C. Just close this double quotations. Okay, within this double quotations, whatever write, that will be printed on my screen. Okay, close this, end with the semicolon. So you might be asking why ma'am is writing in this way, because this is the syntax followed for the C programming language. Then I will simply close my flower bracket because my task is done. I just want to print welcome to C, that's all. So in this body I am having only one statement. Close it, that's all. So this is your sample C program. Isn't it easy? Now what will be my output? My output will be simply welcome to C. So friends, I hope you enjoyed my today's session. So we have already kickstarted with the basics of C programming language. In upcoming classes, we will be discussing in details regarding all the topics. Also, I will be covering the lab programs provided for your syllabus. Thank you, friends.